Now, I'm no sales and marketing expert now, but I know a lot more about it, and I know, what we should be measuring, what we shouldn't be measuring, looking at what all of our inputs are, as well as looking at what our outputs are. So getting more of that balanced scorecard approach to sales and marketing was super beneficial.
So joining me on the call today, I've got Adam Conrad. Welcome to the call, Adam.
Thank you very much, David. Glad to be here.
Maybe just give everyone a snapshot of your company. What do you do?
We're an offshoring and consulting company. So we provide resources to SME businesses throughout Australia and New Zealand. We've even got German and UK clients now, doing professional services work, mainly in the financial services space.
Yeah, gotcha. So I know that you came and did an accelerator program with us over a few months, just to really sort of give you some tools to align your business, get your goals clear, and get a bit of a plan in place. Do you want to tell us a bit about what you did and what you got out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did it early 2021, and those sessions were, that was absolutely fantastic because I picked up so many different tools and toolkits on what I could actually do. Mm-hmm. Starting back on, what is your vision? What's your vision for the business?
Yeah.
Where do you want the business to be in that 3-5 year window, and how you want to get there? And then just planning out your objectives, your goals, your projects throughout the way. And we rolled that out to all aspects of our business, through to our IT department, HR, our finance, recruitment and sourcing teams, etc. And we really empowered all of our team to come up with those plans. Yeah. And then we came up with an overall strategy for the business that everyone was on board with, everyone was agreed to, and everyone had their KPIs and knew explicitly what their goals were that they needed to achieve.
Fantastic. So what sort of results did you get out of implementing that?
Yeah, so we had, from a growth perspective, we had a really strong year of growth. So we mainly measure our growth numbers on the number of FTE that we support. Yeah. And we saw a year-on-year increase of 75%, which is massively strong compared to the previous year, which is probably COVID impacted a little bit, but we only got about 35% the year before, so we're able to increase it to 75%. And we believe this year, with the plans that we've got in place, it will grow 100% again.
Fantastic. So if you were going to sort of narrow it down to maybe one or two key elements, what do you think the best things that came out of doing that was?
The best things that coming out of it was the toolkits, having the weekly sessions, hearing what other businesses were going through. I absolutely loved the readings that you pointed us towards, David, on a weekly basis, and books that we could go and have a look at, or things online that we could go and have a look at. But mainly that's just those toolkits that you could pick up, the planning, the focusing on the lead generation, the nurturing, the conversion, just all of those tips and tricks that you gave us along the way, strategies that we could use to focus on growing the business, things that we hadn't thought of, other things that we had, but it was just good to just have all of that at our fingertips and be able to sit there and implement them. I think I remember you talking about the plates at the circus that you spin on the pole. And you always have to have a number of different plates actually spinning. It was really good to get those sort of analogies, and I replay that back to our team all the time now to make sure what plates have we actually got spinning, because we need more than a couple to be growing the business.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes we get so stuck in the workings of the business, the day-to-day operation, that having sort of just a point where you stop and just assess, what's working, what's not working, where do you need to focus your energy, really gets you to work smarter and not harder, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That working on the business rather than in the business, and constantly pulling yourself out of the in the business activities has been super beneficial as well.
Yeah. Now, for a lot of people that sort of think about doing a program like that, they've got a lot of reservation and hesitation. Did you have any reservation before you started?
Yeah, I probably did, to be perfectly honest, because I sat there and said, I'm a highly motivated person myself. I don't need, like a fitness coach, someone tell me how high to jump and how many push-ups to do and things like that. I don't need that. But the thing that I did really like was just the different thoughts, the different ideas, the different toolkits and things like that I hadn't actually been exposed for. And so many of those tools as well are just so simple. They're really easy to use and just to bring you back and get focused. And as I said before, you can roll it out to other parts of your business really, really quickly as well. Other people can come on board.
But I do find a lot of people, they already run their own business. They know what they're doing, right? So, when they think, well, I don't need someone to tell me how to run a business, I'm running one. It's really not about just telling you what you already know. It's about finding the gaps, isn't it? And saying, well, how can you do it better? Or what are you not seeing? So I think, there is hesitation. So how did you navigate that? So when you had that thought, what made you sort of proceed anyway?
I think it was probably identifying those gaps and being really honest with what am I good at? What am I not so good at? And then how can I actually improve those skills? So that, as I touched on before, that sales and marketing side of things for me particularly was a massive gap. And those tools and that you shared with us to be able to use, that really helped close the gaps. Now, I'm no sales and marketing expert now, but I know a lot more about it, and I know, what we should be measuring, what we shouldn't be measuring, looking at what all of our inputs are, as well as looking at what our outputs are. So getting more of that balanced scorecard approach to sales and marketing was super beneficial.
Yeah. And I think you sort of touched on something there. People are really good at their business, right? That's why they're in it. But then the skill set of running a business is not the same as being the expert in your business. And so a lot of people just don't even consider that a skill set. So taking sales and marketing as an example, you don't need to be a guru at sales and marketing. You just need to understand that's a process and you can build it. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, sometimes I think once you boil down sales, it's more just having a conversation and building relationships. And solving problems for your clients. That's what we do. So when you make it that simple, it really is an easy conversation. You don't have to get salesy. I can't bring myself to be salesy. It's just not in my DNA.
Yeah. And look, for most people, they have this thing about sales is negative. And for me, it's only the definition from experience. You might have met a pushy salesperson. You don't want to be that person, right? Yeah. So really, a really good salesperson doesn't sell. They just help.
Yeah.
And when you get clear on it,
a bit like a doctor diagnosing the problem, right?
Yeah.
We've got a solution, and we can help certain clients. We can't help everyone, but we can help a number of people out there with what we do.
Yeah. So what's the future hold for now? The business name is Intogreat. Is that right? Intogreat
That's
Solutions.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So what's the future hold for Intogreat?
We'll continue on the rapid growth projection this year. So by the end of this year, we want to be circa 500 FTE. So it's going to be a decent sized business. Within 3 years, we want to get that to at least 1,000. All of our staff at the moment are in the Philippines. We want to grow that out to other countries. We want to be able to tap into IT skills and other skills that other countries offer, like Malaysia, and give our customers a choice of where they actually go and consume their talent from and where they consume those capabilities. But we are sort of running into, in the Philippines, starting to get it a lot harder from a supply perspective than what it was previously. So what else can we tap into to help our clients be able to grow their business? So that's a lot of what the focus is at the moment, on where do we go to next and how do we continue to deliver on that growth without ruining the service and our NPS and the great relationships that we have with our existing customers.
Yeah. And what you've touched on there is really what the true work of a business owner is, strategizing the business and working out where to next.
Yeah, and that's what I have to keep trying to drag myself out from on a day-to-day basis, David, to sit there and try and ignore the rats and mice and leave that to the people that I've empowered and really just try and be there directing the ship far more.
Yeah.
Which is more exciting as well.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's bigger horizons ahead of you, and you can go and sort of work out what's going on and how to sort of tune into that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan.
So last comment. So someone who's sort of sitting on the fence and not really sure, whether, working with outcomes is right for them, what would you suggest to them?
My recommendation is absolutely give it a go, David. It's a small investment from a financial perspective.
Yeah.
It's a small investment from a time perspective. I think when I signed up, there was some sort of money back guarantee offer.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteeing that you guys will win. And I never had to once go back and look at the contract. I think every session you walk away with something that you can go and put into place in your business. It might not be huge, but the next week it might be a lot bigger. So I'd highly recommend it. I've recommended it to a couple of my friends that own businesses, to jump on board and do it, because for those small investments, you will actually get a lot out of it. And that's why I'm more than happy to talk about it today.
Awesome. Adam, look, really appreciate your feedback. It was fun getting into the start of the business with you, and appreciate your time today as well. So thank you.
Cheers. Thanks very much, David.